So, when you're thinking about moving your family abroad, what's the first thing you worry about? It's usually the logistics, right? The house, the job, making sure the kids can keep up with the new school syllabus. But there's this huge, invisible piece of the puzzle that we often forget about. We're going to dive into that today, a crucial skill called cultural intelligence. And it all kicks off with a really simple but profound idea. You see, when a child moves to a new country, it's not just about getting on a plane and unpacking boxes in a new bedroom. It's so much more than that. It's a fundamental shift in their entire world. They are literally navigating a whole new universe of unwritten social rules, different expectations, and brand new ways of communicating. And this whole journey, it happens inside their own head, and it can be incredibly overwhelming. And here's the toughest part. Unlike us adults, kids don't have the life experience or the coping mechanisms to really understand what's happening. They're just dropped into this new world and expected to figure it out, often without even having the words to explain how lonely or confusing it all feels. And that right there, that's what we call the silent migration. It's this internal journey that's often way harder than catching up on math. The key to helping them through it is a concept that we really need to understand: cultural intelligence. Okay, so I've thrown this term out there, cultural intelligence, or CQ for short. What on earth is it? Well, it's this amazing ability to not just survive in a new culture, but to actually get it, to adapt, and to truly thrive. It's the antidote to that lonely, silent migration. You know, as parents, we totally fixate on the academic stuff, right? We worry, can they catch up on the syllabus? What about the language? But here's the thing. Those gaps can usually be closed in a few months. It's the cultural gaps that are the real danger. They can lead to loneliness, serious anxiety, and a feeling of being isolated that can stick around for years. This is why CQ isn't just a nice to have. It's absolutely essential. Now, this might all sound a bit abstract, so let's make it real. I want to tell you about a 9-year-old girl named Arushi. Her story is a perfect example of what happens when a child isn't struggling academically, but is completely displaced culturally. See, back home in Chennai, Arushi was that kid. You know the one. Super talkative, friends everywhere, just vibrant and full of life. But after her family moved to Denmark, her parents saw this massive change. She became quiet, totally withdrawn. They were worried sick, but her grades were fine. So what happened? The problem wasn't Arushi. It was a total cultural mismatch. She came from a very structured school environment in India. She lands in this Danish school where everything is informal. The teachers go by their first names, there are group discussions all the time, and kids are not just allowed, but expected to speak up and share their opinions. She wasn't being shy. She was just completely unequipped for this brand new set of social rules. Arushi's story really gets to the heart of what we're talking about today. It highlights these two fundamentally different schooling mindsets that shape how our kids see the world. So let's compare them to see what kind of skills each one builds. There's this quote that just nails it. A system like India's CBSE is incredible at building discipline. But so many global classrooms, especially in the West, they run on a completely different currency. And that currency is communication and self-expression. So let's actually break this down and put them side by side. In a CBSE-style system, authority is pretty hierarchical, right? Communication is structured, and the student's main job is to listen and absorb. Now, contrast that with something like the International Baccalaureate, or IB. There, it's all about a more equal footing, open dialogue, and the student is seen as an active collaborator. And let's be clear, neither one is better. They're just building different muscles. Now, coming from a CBSE background gives kids some serious superpowers. These students are often incredibly resilient emotionally. They are fantastic at following routines, they can handle intense academic pressure like champs, and they have a deep respect for school norms. That's a huge plus. But, and this is a big but, the challenge isn't about what they learn, it's about what they don't get a chance to practice as much. Things like taking social risks, like speaking up when you're not sure, or practicing how to debate an idea, or even disagree with a teacher respectfully. Those muscles just aren't flexed as often. Now flip the coin, and you've got the IB system. It's almost like it was designed from the ground up to build cultural intelligence. It's jam-packed with communication practice, discussions where kids have to ask why, and it's all built around this idea of international mindedness. It actively pushes kids to be open-minded and to be risk-takers. But hold on, it's not a silver bullet either. Sometimes that amazing confidence can be, well, a little shallow. Students can be super expressive, but maybe lack some academic depth. They can be socially bold, for sure, but sometimes that comes at the cost of discipline. It shows us that confidence is great, but it has to be balanced with respect and humility. Okay, so after all that analysis, you might be thinking, great, what am I supposed to do about it? Well, this is where you, the parent, come in. Big time. This isn't just on the schools. So let's get into a practical toolkit you can use to actively build your child's cultural intelligence. First up, and this is a big one, timing is everything. Seriously. Research shows that the sweet spot for a move is usually between the ages of 6 and 10. Kids are just more socially flexible then. That 11 to 14 window, that's a high-risk period, because that's when they're figuring out their identity and friend groups are everything. And by 15 to 18, they might be academic rock stars, but they can be pretty socially rigid, which just makes adapting that much harder. All right, here are 4 really practical things you can start doing like today. Number 1, broaden their world. Fill your shelves with books from other cultures, watch foreign films, encourage friendships with kids from different backgrounds. 2, practice communicating. Have fun little debates at the dinner table. Role-play tricky social situations. 3, encourage them to have an opinion. Ask them what they really thought about that movie or a story in the news. And 4, foster those social skills. Play games that need teamwork and communication. So let's bring this all home. What's the one big idea you should walk away with? When it comes to our kids' global education, it's really important to know who is responsible for what. Think of it like this. Different school systems lay down a foundation, right? CBSE is fantastic at building resilience. The IB is great for building confidence. Other systems might build a real sense of grounding. But that final, crucial piece of the puzzle, that unique, irreplaceable skill of cultural intelligence, that's on us. That's the parent's job. It really all boils down to this simple but incredibly powerful truth. Schools are amazing at building specific skills, but it's the parents who build the whole child, the person who can take all those skills and use them with empathy, with understanding, and with confidence, no matter where they are in the world. So I'll leave you with this one question to think about. Beyond all the grades and the report cards, are you truly preparing your child to thrive, not just in any school, but in the world's classroom?